Welcome to In Your Business. I'm your host, Reeves Kurtner. Season 2 of In Your Business is presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington. Online at mosesmeansmore.com. Empowered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications. This week, prepare to get hungry as we dive into a delicious success story. We're thrilled to have Lauren Shultz, the general manager of Buddy's All-American Barbecue, joining us. If a restaurant has been open more than 20 years, they must be doing something right. And Buddy's is definitely doing something right. For 24 years, Buddy's has been serving up great barbecue, ice cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington. And now they've just opened up a second location in Milton. Today, we're going behind the scenes to uncover the secrets of their success. We'll discuss the decision to expand, the challenges of getting the new location ready for business, the process of hiring and training a new staff, and lessons they've learned along the way. Let's get in your business. Lauren, thanks for coming in. Let's start with Buddy's All-American Barbecue.
Yeah.
There are those people that have not had it.
I know.
And I get mad at those people.
I still think it's unbelievable that people have never been to Buddy's. We've been there 24 years.
24, yeah, it blows my mind.
Yeah,
24
crazy.
years. Talk about, your involvement in Buddy's and your family and all that. Let's start there.
Yeah. So my dad bought Buddy's in 2006. And then I joined the team in 2007.
Yes.
And we've been running full force ever since.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. My dad's not involved as much as he used to be.
Right.
He still thinks he's retired, but he'll never be able to fully retire.
He's there every day.
He's there every day.
Yes.
Whether it's lunch or dinner, you never know, but
Yeah.
he's there every day. And then, yeah.
Talk about, too, with your dad's involvement, he's done, restaurants, hospitality, as long as I've known.
His whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was born into it, and his parents started Gateway in Barbersville.
Gateway
and
Hotel.
Then,
yeah,
the Gateway Hotel and restaurant, banquet center, all that stuff. My dad and his siblings grew it to what it was. And then after all that, he started working at Buddy's and then purchased it in 2006.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of people, when we say Gateway, there are people that do not know what that is. That's where Oscars is, Goodwill is.
Fratelli's, all that
yes,
stuff. Yeah. I literally grew up right there.
So did I.
Yeah.
And Lauren and I've known her since 1992.
Yes.
So background on us, when my family moved to Huntington, our house wasn't ready yet, and we lived at the Gateway for about 6 weeks. And we'd go to the swimming pool, and there'd be Lauren, all that kind of fun stuff. So literally, I've known her and her family for 32 years or something like that, which is crazy. So,
it is crazy, yeah.
But what made you want to follow your dad's footsteps and get into the business? I've never asked you that before.
Well, my dad actually tried to get me not to do it.
Okay.
He was like, go do something else. You do not want in this industry. Like, it's demanding. It's hard. You don't want in it. And I was like, but I need a job, and I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to come work for you. And one foot in the door and never put the other one out.
Yeah.
And just, yeah.
What do you like about it?
I love all of it. I really do. Meeting guests and building relationships with them is one of my favorite part. Like, I feel like I really do know a lot of people in the city just from people coming and eating barbecue.
Of course.
I also love seeing my employees grow and go on to do bigger and better things than work at Buddy's.
Sure.
Or people who have made careers out of Buddy's too. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I really do love it all. It's a challenge every day. It's something new every day.
Right.
But I do. Yeah.
So 24 years, that blows my mind. So next year will be 25.
25.
Got to do something special for that,
Absolutely,
for sure. Yes.
Yeah. We wanted to do something special for 20, but it was during COVID.
I
had this big whole plan, and then COVID happened, and it ruined it all.
Yeah.
And then... So,
sounds about right for a lot of things.
Yes.
So, and then this past year, Buddy's. Let's actually before I get there, I want to talk about too something that obviously barbecue, sandwiches, wings, appetizers, all that kind of awesome stuff, right?
Yeah.
Buddy's is one of my favorite comfort food places. If I just want something just to make myself feel good, I'm going to go to Buddy's. Talk about your catering side of I want to talk about catering.
Yeah.
People probably don't realize all the catering that you all do.
We do a ton of catering. I think when we run our numbers, I think 30% of our business is catering and takeout.
I was going to ask that.
That went up substantially after COVID.
Sure.
Because we stayed open and utilized our drive-through pickup window. And it was insane the amount of people who came through our pickup window during COVID.
Sure.
I still have customers who have never stepped foot inside of our restaurant and
Right.
only come once a week through the drive-through.
Yeah.
But our catering is huge. We do anything from like I can feed 4 people or I can feed 4,000 people.
Sure.
Everything in between. I mean, I have actually, when I left the restaurant today, we had 2 caterings going out this morning.
Always, yeah.
I mean, it's always every day.
I mean, you're not exaggerating when you say 4,000 people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can feed 4,000 people easy.
And so the reason I want to ask that, because that's going to kind of lead in as we talk about the second location. So this past year, Buddy's out of their second location, right? I mean, you expanded into Milton, Milton Route 60 there, East Main Street. Talk about that decision. What went into that? Have you all thought about expanding for a while?
Yeah. Me and my dad had talked about it forever, and I told him a long time ago, I said, I either want to have a ton of them or none of them.
Okay.
I said, that's like, I either want to grow and, bring buddies to a different part of the state, or I'm ready to be done.
Okay.
Like I was kind of at that point. Which I would never really be done because I didn't have anything else to do. But
right.
And I do love it,
yes.
but I was ready to grow.
Yeah, I got it.
The opportunity came available in Milton, and we thought it would be a perfect location to give an opportunity to people for our catering out of Milton.
Yeah.
So like Taze Valley Hurricane, that kind of way. And then even Barbersville. I know, some people don't like to come downtown. Some people, they just don't. They don't have a reason to come downtown.
Okay.
So I thought Milton would be a good kind of new place to open.
Had you all looked at other areas before Milton or thought about other places?
We'd never been looking really hard.
Okay.
We'd always just been kind of open-minded, and every time you drive around, you look around and see what's happening. You look at real estate, that kind of stuff. So we'd always been looking for a great location, and we thought Milton was a great location.
Yeah, and it's in the old Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or Crisp, right?
The Twist.
Twist.
It was the Twist.
Okay.
Dairy Queen and then the Twist. And I did learn actually from the people of Milton that when that building first opened, it was a fried chicken spot.
Did not know
I
that.
don't remember what it was called, but somebody was in one day talking to us about it, and they were like, "Do you remember when?" And I was like, "That was way before my time."
Absolutely.
But it used to be a fried chicken place.
Talk about like the timing of it all too. When did you get the idea of like, hey, I want to have a bunch of these or none of these? When did you kind of feel that?
It was honestly probably before I had kids.
Okay.
I was in that stage where I was like, I've got to, like, I'm ready to do something,
okay.
but I'm ready for a new challenge almost. Not that I have like mastered Buddies. There's new, things every day. But,
I got it. But
I had it to a place where it was operating well. So I was ready for a new challenge. And a new restaurant sounded like a new challenge.
So what about so from then and to now, kids are 5, right?
Yeah,
Oldest
5
is
and
5.
3. Yeah.
How long? Obviously, COVID happened in those 5 years, right?
Yes.
But talk about the timing of it. Why did you open up this past January?
Yeah, in January. Yeah. So when we got that building, we thought it would take like 6 months to get it open, and it took longer than that.
It always does.
Okay, it took so much
no one has
longer
ever
than
said
that.
like, 6 months. That means 18.
Yes, and it really did. It took forever. We had to do a lot of work on the building, and we didn't want to open and it not be right. So it was a process.
Yeah.
But we did go with a quick service at our new location. So you walk up to the counter, order, and then go sit down. We bring your food out. So it's not traditional like downtown.
Right.
But the quick service works well for our carry out, for our catering. It still gives our customers what they're looking for when they come in.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Talk about that on the quick service. Again, if you've been to the Huntington location or not Milton, you order at the counter at this location.
Yeah.
What was the thought process on that? How's that going so far? What have you learned from that?
Yeah, it's a bigger adjustment than I thought it would be.
Why's that?
It's just different than full service. But I have noticed that like our food comes out really quick, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it gives our kitchen an opportunity to turn through their tickets well.
Okay.
But the quick service works up there, and I think our customers like it. They seem to adjust well to it.
Yeah.
But it's the idea behind quick service up there was it's a smaller location, and I needed to turn my tables quicker.
Right.
There's only like 10 or 12 tables inside, and I wanted everybody to have an opportunity to eat there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
the only way to be able to do that was quick service.
Makes
it just
sense.
made sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like the catering part of it and looking to expand that into the Hurricane and Barbersville, Taze Valley. How's that going so far? What kind of research, if any, did you all do with that in mind? Like, hey, there's an opportunity here. This area is underserved.
Yeah, so we looked at, I know that Taze Valley area is booming.
Sure.
Right now. It's growing like wildfire, and it has been. So we looked at kind of the amount of businesses that were in the area that could help us capitalize our catering. And there's a ton of businesses in that area, including doctor's offices and all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
So, we cater a lot to the hospitals here and all the different offices and that kind of stuff. So we just thought that would be a good move.
Are you getting, like, a lot of the, there's Marshall Health is in Taze Valley. It's also in Huntington. Are people from the Marshall Health Huntington going, oh, hey, now we could do this up in Taze Valley? Are you getting like leads like that?
Yeah, we're starting to get that. We've been hitting that Milton area pretty hard, so I've hit those businesses up there, and they have all responded well to it, and they've utilized us. We've actually done a lot more catering up there already than I anticipated, which is a great thing, and I'm excited to really hit that Taze Valley Hurricane area hard.
If Huntington's about 30% carry out and take out, what is Milton?
Milton right now is probably about 30%
Same
too.
thing? Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So let's talk about, you got the building, and it needed some work.
Yes,
right? It wasn't just move in and we're going to open up.
I wish.
Like you said, it took a minute. What all did you all have to do? Any unforeseen challenges there, just getting the building ready?
So we had to put in a new hood system up there. We had to put all new flooring in the dining room. We had to renovate a lot of the kitchen. I had to drop gas line in. There was not gas inside the building.
Really?
And our fryers and all that runs off of gas.
That's surprising.
Very surprising. So whatever was in there
how could you have
before,
a fried chicken place, just like you said?
Right. So it had to, maybe they had one at one point, but then they converted it all to electric.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so we had to drop a gas line. Had to do some roof work.
Right.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff. We just actually put all new deck boards on the deck up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, supply chain issues during all this, or is that kind of slowed down?
It's slowed down a little bit, but you still run into that occasional
random thing
that they're out of, and you're like, how are you out of that? And they all still use COVID as an excuse,
right, yeah.
which is fine.
Got it. What about, we one of the first episodes I ever did was with book tenders. And they have beer in there and they have wine in there, and they ran into a problem on getting a license because they didn't have a mop bucket. Okay.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. It was like, how did you know? Did you all have any issues like that where there's like the random things on coding and licensing and whatever that you ran into?
It's always something.
It is
literally always something that you're like, all right, I'm ready. And then, so we actually, I had to replace a sink because they said it was a mop sink and not a hand washing sink.
Okay.
So I had to do that. And then we also had to close in our deck with fencing because the ABC said it needed to be closed in. And and we had to do that. So nothing like super major, but just little stuff that's like, okay,
right,
like we got to do it.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So now you're getting ready to open. What about staffing and training and all that? Did you pull people from Huntington up there? How did you hire?
I did. I actually moved. So the guy running my Milton store, he's from downtown.
Okay.
He worked downtown for a couple years before I moved him up there. And then I took a couple servers from downtown to Milton to help train. And now they're really operating on their own.
Good.
I've got everybody up there's from Milton. And it's been great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's cool, too, right? Your guy from Huntington still up there?
Yeah, yeah.
The manager of the store?
Yep.
That's cool, right? That's a good
great.
opportunity for him and all that kind of stuff there, too.
Yeah.
Any challenges on hiring people? People talk about that all the time, too.
Yeah, I still struggle. Everybody, wants to work, but not really work.
Yeah.
So I've really worked hard on training and motivating and that kind of stuff. So there's always challenges.
Any surprises there on training in Milton versus Huntington or the quick service?
Yeah, I had to train our staff a little better on how to give the customer the experience that they need when they come in all at the counter.
Yeah.
Instead of having that like at a like downtown, you can check back with your customers and see what else they need. Up there, it's kind of like you got one shot.
Right.
So you got to give them the opportunity to get everything they need in one swoop.
Okay.
So I've had to work with them on that, on how to maximize that.
What's been the feedback so far?
I think people really like our food up there. I have talked to a lot of people, and they say that everything's good. The best compliment that I have had up there, though, is that my staff is incredibly nice and welcoming, and they've had great customer service up there, which is something that I love to hear.
That's right.
Yes.
Talk about, too, your dad had told me this, too, that he was surprised, and maybe this has changed, how many burgers you're selling.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listen, so we opened up there.
It's Buddy's All American Barbecue, not Buddy's Burgers.
It's
right?
insane.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in Milton knew that we were a barbecue place probably for 6 weeks. I swear to you. They were like, wait, you have barbecue? And I'm like, yes, we have barbecue. We don't just have burgers.
That's funny.
And then now my big thing up there is everybody thinks that we have ice cream from where it used to be a Dairy Queen. And I do not have ice cream up there.
Don't have ice cream.
I don't have ice cream. I'm really sorry
to
the city of Milton that I do not have ice cream. I don't see us getting ice cream anytime soon. And I'm really sorry for that, but we do have great barbecue.
That's crazy. That is crazy. What lessons have you learned from opening up a new location, a second location?
Definitely that not everything goes on the timeline that you expect it to.
Yeah.
And that you've got to be adaptable and able to overcome things like in seconds.
Right.
It's not like don't dwell on it, just get it done.
Like what? Like what?
Well, some of the food stuff that we got in at first was wrong. We got a new smoker up there that we're still learning to operate.
Okay. How's it different than like what you currently have?
Actually, the one that I'm using up there is a pellet smoker. Downtown, I'm using a wood stick burner.
Okay. Smaller, basically. Is it the idea?
The pellet smoker is smaller.
That's what I meant.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a different brand than what we were using. So I'm still on the fence about what I'm gonna stick with.
Got it.
But that's been different, having to learn how to use that pellet smoker for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being adaptable, I guess, is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, which you already do.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
What about, was there any stress or is there any stress like on the original location during all this?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Because I actually, Buddy's downtown was great, and then I had 2 managers leave shortly after I opened Milton. It was great moves for them.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. But then I became stuck downtown and not able to get in Milton as much as I wanted to be.
Yeah.
So I had to really learn how to utilize a telephone more than being in person and kind of manage that way.
Yeah.
But downtown's been thriving. They've been great. Milton is doing well, and the city's been supportive of us up there.
Talk about that. How's it been supportive?
We already have a lot of regulars up there.
Good.
The city made it easy for us. They helped us through all the right things that we needed, the licensing and all that stuff. I never got any kickback from any of them on that. So it was easy to open from that standpoint.
Yeah, I was going to ask too. I mean, and every municipality is different and that kind of stuff. I mean, so that was I don't want to say. I mean, Huntington had been open for 20 years, but how was it different dealing with Milton versus Huntington?
Yeah. Well, it's way smaller up there, so I just kind of showed up at City Hall and was like, "Hey, here's what I'm trying to do. What do you need from me?"
Okay.
And they were like, "And this is it." And that was it. And,
keep it simple.
And it was super simple. Yeah. It was so simple. Yeah.
Sure. Is there anything that you do differently if you did this again?
I would probably advertise a lot more before I opened. I was afraid to advertise before I opened because I was trying not to jump the gun.
See, I don't know. Like, I think doing the soft opening is smarter though.
Yes.
I think you can only make a first impression once.
Absolutely.
Right?
And we really did have a soft opening, and we literally opened without tables and chairs in our dining room because we couldn't get them from the place we ordered them from. Of
course,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah. You took your deck ones, right, from Huntington.
From Huntington to Milton.
Throw them inside, yeah.
Yes. I had metal tables and chairs in the dining room, but now I have comfortable booths.
Right. Okay. Yes.
But yeah, so I go back and forth about whether I would have advertised a little bit more, or just kind of did what we did.
I think the soft opening, like I said, because it drives me nuts when those people that go to the restaurant the first day and they wait for 3 hours for the first day, and I'm like, what are you doing? They don't even know what they're doing yet. Let them make all their mistakes, and then I'll go 2 weeks later or 4 weeks later.
Yes, I'm the same way. Any new restaurant opens, I'm giving them probably 6 weeks before I go, just so they can work out all their kinks.
And those people will post on social media. It was awful.
Yes.
I'm like, really? You waited 4 hours, and no matter what you're gonna have, if I waited 4 hours, it's gonna be horrible.
It'll be awful. I would never. I would never wait 4 hours. We've had some bad nights, believe me. I know. But I would never I would never expect anybody to come in and wait 4 hours for food.
And this is where, so again, full disclosure, I worked at Buddy's in college for a couple of summers. So, and I tell people either work in retail or food at some point in your life.
You've got to.
Got to. You just
should be mandatory.
Put yourself in their shoes a little bit more, and I
think it gives people more compassion when they do it.
Totally agree. I can tell you something off the air too. A story. I'm just saying, of like that. Just seeing somebody be rude to a server. I'm like, you never worked in food, did you?
No, and all they're trying to do is make them happy and do their job. And I used to. I'm probably not as nice now when customers are rude.
Well, talk about that.
And there's a level. Like if you don't understand and like we can help fix this for you, I have no problem doing that whatsoever. But if you're gonna throw a chicken wing at one of my waitresses,
get out.
I'm gonna tell you to leave.
And you're never coming back.
No.
God,
yeah,
no.
like I just won't.
Jesus.
I used to tolerate a lot, and I don't anymore for that reason. Like these people showed up today to do their job. We gave them the tools to do their job, and you're not being very nice.
No.
And yes, occasionally we mess up, and I'll own that.
Of course.
Like, don't throw a chicken wing.
No.
And don't cuss at my staff.
No.
Like they're not here for that.
No.
So
I don't. Yeah.
I have no problem now, like shutting people down.
Well, no, and never apologize. Unless you have to. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, again, like, hey, sorry that I gave you the wrong, you wanted medium and I gave you barbecue wings.
Right. I'll fix it. Let me fix it.
It takes 5 minutes.
Yes.
Bro. You're good.
Yes.
Yeah. But, it's something like too. I'm like, I don't know. If I didn't do something wrong in my job, I'm not going to apologize. You might be happy, but like if I did what I said I was going to do, I'm not going to just apologize.
Yeah.
I'm not going to admit that I was wrong when I wasn't wrong. If I'm wrong, man, I'll admit it all day.
Absolutely.
Hey, I screwed up.
Yes.
I screwed up. And here's what I want to do. Let me know if I can make it right for you. Here's what I want to do. But if you're just going to be unreasonable, then I'm not going to care either.
Yeah.
I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
That's I'm with you. So we got 2 locations. Would you want to do a third one?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? How far?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. You went like 25 minutes now, right?
Yes.
20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that a nice number like that, you think?
I think so. Yeah. I'd probably go a little further.
Okay.
But I think eventually there'll be a third one for sure.
What, time, right? Take your minute.
Yeah.
You don't want to grow too fast.
Exactly.
Too quickly.
Yeah. I got to learn all my mistakes from doing this one first.
I was going to ask you, what kind of considerations are going into that?
Menu planning for sure. I cut my menu a little bit going to Milton.
What do you mean by that?
So I took some things off the menu that I didn't think our customers would miss, and boy, do they miss them.
Like what? Like what?
In Milton, I don't have potato skins.
Okay.
It's been a thing, and nachos. I don't have nachos up there, but my kitchen up there is so small. I just don't have room for it.
Why? What do you mean though? You don't have room for it? Why does a potato skin take up so much room?
Well, I only have one oven up there.
Okay.
And that's all I had room for.
How many do you have in Huntington?
I have one huge oven downtown, but I also have a impingement oven, which is like a pizza oven that I melt everything in. It's like 5 feet long.
Got it.
I have absolutely nowhere to put one of those in Milton. So I don't have any way to melt the cheese in an efficient way.
Got it.
So instead of making people wait 30 minutes for potato skins or nachos, I just took them off the menu.
Got it.
It was my easiest solution that I could find.
Yeah.
But I'd have upset
and same
some
thing
people.
with like what about like your homemade chips? Do you have those?
I still do homemade chips. I kept those.
How can you do that with the melted cheese?
Well, I put them in the oven, but I didn't. I have room for one.
Okay.
I just can't have like.
I got it.
6 orders of potato skins and 6 orders of chips, and
Okay.
you know what I mean, and
I
make it efficient. It just doesn't work.
Well, so talk about menu planning then. So what do you mean by that? Then like you need to do a better job at menu planning. What do you mean for the third potential location?
Yeah, I think I need to make sure that our third location is bigger than my second. So I have room for all the equipment that I need.
Do you wish you had another 50 square feet or 100 square feet type thing?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I wish that building was bigger, or more efficient, so that I could have an impingement oven to take care of that kind of stuff. But I don't.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. Talk about. Where do you see Buddy's in the next 5 years? Next 10 years?
Growing for sure. Getting better every day. There's always constant changes in this industry, but I think we can do better at what we're already doing.
Yeah.
So I think managing our systems and that kind of thing, managing our staff.
Yeah.
And still getting new customers in.
Yeah, sure.
It's a huge part of it, but also taking care of the ones that already come in because they really have helped grow our business. And I mean, I know the same couples who come every Monday night, and they've came every Monday night for the past 15 years. I've literally watched them come to Buddy's on their first date. I catered their wedding. Right. Now they have kids, and I'm catering birthday parties for them. So it's really cool.
What do you been doing for? I mean, what do you think the key is for doing it for 24 years?
I think consistency is huge.
Yeah.
But I think also people knowing that we're locally owned and operated, and that I do genuinely care about my customers and want to give them a great experience. Like I want our guests to come back. I want them to feel like that they know me, that they know my family. My kids' pictures are hanging on the wall.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So I want them to know that, when they choose to spend their hard-earned money with us, that we do genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah. And you've adapted so well too. I mean, well, you have to. If you're not, you have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years ago was 2019 and no pandemics and whatever else. And heck, 10 years ago, there was no are y'all DoorDashing and Uber?
I'm just DoorDashing.
Okay, whatever.
But that's DoorDash.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing 10 years ago.
That wasn't a thing either. Yeah.
Right? And some people have been reluctant about that because of the cost. But talk about that. Why do you do that one? Why do you do, I don't care about why do you do, what do you call that?
DoorDash?
No, I know, but what do you call that? Like the shared, whatever the delivery.
Yeah, the delivery thing.
Yeah.
Well, so we started doing that during COVID because I thought that would be a great, why not?
Yeah.
Then some of them, the fees got outrageous, so we just cut them.
Yeah.
And DoorDash seems to work. It's not a huge part of our business, but I really do think that it has opened us up to a market that we never knew existed.
I think so.
Because I didn't feel like I knew that many people didn't drive or have transportation.
Okay.
And they order out, and if they're going to eat out, they have to DoorDash.
That's a good point.
Because they don't have a way to go pick it up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's like a whole new market.
Yeah. I mean, again, like going back 5-10 years, DoorDashes and all that kind of stuff you do. You just have to adapt to. And I'll add too. I'm gonna, I'll add too. You got to market. And you all do. You do keep your name out there, radio, digital.
I do, yeah. I've tried to really work on our branding.
Yeah, you have to.
It's simple. I just want people to recognize the Buddy's logo and know when they hear Killer Wings, Great Barbecue, and Ice Cold Beer that it's Buddy's.
That's us.
That's it.
Milton, Huntington, boom.
Milton, Huntington, boom. Nothing crazy. Yeah. I don't need, all the.
I just say that because, and again, I know I'm in sales. That's my day job. Not this podcast is not paying my bills, but you do. You have people that I don't care what business you're in. If you're not throwing your name out there, no one's going to think about you. And
ever.
If you're doing it for 24 years, you're doing something right. Jim's Steak and Spaghetti, 85 years.
It's amazing.
And they advertise.
And they still advertise,
because they want people to come to their place and not Buddy's.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
And there's room for people, but you got to keep your name out there.
Yeah.
Or they're going to forget about you.
Oh, they'll forget about you, and you'll get out of routine. And I want to be that weekly routine. I want to be that for people.
It's rotation.
I want to know that every Wednesday they come for smoked wings, and if they're not there 6 Wednesdays in a row, if they're there for 6 Wednesdays in a row and they're not there for a week, I want them to come back the next week and me be like, "Where were you last week? We missed you."
Yeah, it is. People are creatures of habit.
Creatures of habit, totally. And the COVID thing still proves that because I still have the same people come through my drive-through that started coming through during COVID.
I'll take my family to a restaurant that we haven't been to in 10 years. It's like, hey, let's go here. My kids are like, what is this place? Oh my gosh. I'm like, and it's 5 minutes from our house, right?
Yes.
But it's just because they are creatures of habit.
Yeah, and they've never had it. Yeah.
What other advice, again, going back to looking at that second location, what other advice would you give, a small business owner, an independent business owner looking to go, hey, let's put one somewhere else? What other advice would you offer up?
Make sure you do your research on the place that you're either going to buy or rent to make sure what repairs and stuff are needed, because we got a little in over our head for this location.
It needed more than you thought.
It just needed way more than we thought.
Yeah.
Which was fine. But when you have a budget and then you have to go over budget, it's like,
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Just know that, and then know the market that you're going to open up in and see, what they want, and be adaptable to that. I'm probably going to end up having to change my menu in Milton a little bit, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to put potato skins or nachos on my menu. but you still got to be able to adapt and give the customers what they want.
And that's our episode. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and even leave us a 5-star review. Season 2 of In Your Business, presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington. MosesMeansMore.com. And powered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications.